Undertale is an indie RPG that I first learned about in 4th grade. And on December 23rd, I bought the game, and as a way to start off 2024, I played it for the first time. In this video, I'll be taking you through my first playthrough of the game, and I have to start with a bit of background information. The world of Undertale was once ruled by two races, humans and monsters. Soon, a war broke out between the two for complete control of the overworld. And the humans were victorious. Rather than staining the world with the blood of the monsters, they sealed them away, deep in the underground. This is where the player comes in, years later. The underground had an entrance far from the one where the barrier was formed. It was too high to climb up to, so it was left unprotected. One day, a child climbed the mountain, despite the past stories of those who enter never returning. The child gazed at the hole, and began to approach, likely trying to get a view of the inside. On the way there, the child's foot was caught by a root and they plummeted. Another child lost to the underground, never to return again. At least, the child will forever be remembered by name. Casey. What a dumbass name. Actually, it's a very beautiful name. I woke up on the wrong side of the flower bed, and now I show no emotion besides numbness. Okay, jokes aside, I went through a door and met my first character. This is Flowey. Flowey the Flower, who asked me if I'm new to the underground as if he wasn't spawn camping. Regardless, Flowey's here to show me how things work. This is the battle interface, and right now it's Flowey's turn. I'll explain more about this later, but for now I'm just gonna completely avoid the sadist's bullets. Because I've played the demo at least 30 times, I realized on my 31st playthrough of it that I can completely avoid these projectiles and save Flowey the pleasure of watching me suffer. Eventually he realizes that I know exactly what's going on here, and I hope you're ready to get confused, because this is our first case of Undertale save and reset significance bullshit. So out of rage, Flowey decides to straight up kill me, but his projectiles are erased from existence before they get near me, and Flowey himself gets uprooted by a fireball. Thankfully, to get rid of that bad first impression, the one who launched the fireball was none other than Toriel. Toriel is a gentle, motherly monster who is the caretaker of the ruins. She also spawn camps like Flowey does, but she does it to take care of the newcomers rather than take care of the newcomers. After following Toriel to the next room, I was reintroduced to this game's save system. Stars or something. Basically, certain points of interest in the underground fill the character with determination, which manifests as a memory or time marker, which can be returned to upon death. You got that? Good. Speaking of death, horrible segue, because there's no way out of the underground currently, Toriel gives us a small walkthrough of the ruins, our new home. The ruins contains a lot of puzzles, hence why she's here to help me get accustomed to them. On the way, I reached the actual battle tutorial. Tutorial! Oh! You see, most of the monsters in Undertale are traumatized by the war, and since I'm a human, I am a prime target for getting laid out on the count of self-defense. Hence why I need to learn how to either fight back or reason with whatever's trying to kill me. In the case of fighting this dummy, reasoning is the best way to go about it because Toriel wants to raise a pacifist. During a short walk with her, an enemy encounter occurs with a frogget. And since Toriel has her back turned, she wouldn't be able to see me knock this thing's... Frogs don't have teeth. Thankfully, she also wouldn't be able to see the evidence since whatever you kill in this world gets fucking vaporized. Oh shit, she saw me! Thankfully, she doesn't mind, and once we reach the puzzle that she mentioned earlier, she takes my hand and guides me through it. But then she proceeds to completely shift and abandon me. Now I'm panicking, because I have to walk through this completely straight corridor on my own. I couldn't even catch up with Toriel in time. Pair that with the fact that this corridor is still going, and you have a recipe for me getting jumped. Thankfully though, Toriel just hid behind this pillar and wanted to test my independence. Because as if leaving me alone once wasn't enough, she's doing it again. She tells me to wait here and gives me a cell phone so that I can call in case I feel unsafe, which'll be about every 70 seconds. Make that 8 seconds actually. now that Toriel is completely gone by now, I think I should test my own independence. Immediately, her motherly senses tingled and she thankfully let her trust overshadow her gut feeling. After playfully crinkling through the leaves, I can finally talk about battles properly. Undertale is a turn-based game. On your turn, you get 4 immediate options. Fight allows you to attack the enemy. Act allows you to either calm down or analyze the enemy, or act in a way towards the enemy, as it literally states, but I didn't write that in the script, even though it's kinda obvious, which is probably why I didn't write it in the script. Item allows you to use something, and Mercy allows you to run away from or spare the enemy. This is all possible on your turn, but on the enemy's turn, your soul gets put in the front lines and you have to dodge attacks. After killing another frogget, I headed up and ransacked a bowl of candy. I say ransacked, but I only took 4 and left once it fell on the ground, as if the 5-second rule doesn't apply in the underground. After a bit of walking, Toriel called me again, asking if I prefer cinnamon or butterscotch. I personally have never tried butterscotch, so I'll go with the familiar option. A second later, she confirmed that whatever business she had to attend to involves baking, and she either already made butterscotch, or she personally likes it better. After getting rid of these spikes, I encounter a Whimsun, which looks completely harmless, so I spared it. The bottom dots are his eyes. The bottom dots are his eyes. The bottom dots are his eyes. I hope you can't unsee it now. Surprisingly, after all my time in the ruins, I still messed up this puzzle immediately, and then fumbled like 3 more times. In the next room, I saw 3 rocks and 3 pressure plates. Nothing too difficult, except for the fact that this one is pretty stubborn and is also dumb as stones. After pestering a mouse for a few seconds, and realizing the fact that it will someday get the cheese, I encountered a ghost that was asleep. Pretending. What the fuck? This is Napstablook the ghost, who can attack me with his tears or not at all. Depends on his mood. My first instinct was to repeatedly beat him to after death, and then I realized that this guy is barely doing anything. So I switched and decided to spare him. But unfortunately when I tried that, he decided to use a different attack which I couldn't dodge at all, so I decided that I'm killing him. I was then reminded of the fact that I can't kill a ghost, and to rub ectoplasm on the wound, he even said he was lowering his health intentionally to make it feel meaningful. You ruined it, but I appreciate you. What the hell do you mean I lost an experience point? I don't know how that works, but I went on and learned a few things from 3 froggets. Most notably, when an enemy's name turns yellow, that means I can spare them. This is where one specific thing comes in handy. I mentioned before that the act option can be used to analyze and calm down enemies. To sum up the latter, since every enemy attacks you out of shared trauma, the best way to make a more persistent threat spareable is by showing them that you're not a threat. Or you can completely ignore what I'm saying whilst I'm right here. Thanks, then. And his name was yellow the last time you attacked. You monster! No offense. On the path ahead of where I fought Napstablook, I found a spider bake sale where I bought a donut, saw the price on the bigger web, and left. At the end of this room, I got another call from Toriel, which basically established that she wants us to stay with her. She also mentions the fact that I should pick up whatever I find interesting and save room for it in my pockets, which made me aware of the fact that I have limited space in my inventory, and that I'm carrying a donut and 4 candies in the compartments of my trousers. After yet again making myself think that I haven't played the demo nearly as much as I think I did, I then reached this puzzle where I had to flip a specific lever. Oh, never mind. Oh, this is the part where rotation and perspective comes in. Hopefully I remember the layout of that previous room. I honestly never knew that any of these notes were in the rooms. But I'm glad I found out now, because back then I used to just trial and error it and assume that the correct one was just behind a pillar every single time. Soon I reached a balcony where I found a toy knife. I then picked it up and equipped it before heading up to see... Oh sh... Past this singular dead tree, I admired the view of a tidy house in the ruins, since it's kinda antithetical. Despite being thrown off by the fact that she seemingly has an open door policy, Toriel's home seems really cozy on the inside. Upon entry, my attention was brought to the smell of pie. Specifically, butterscotch cinnamon pie, which she had been preparing since she left me in the ruins. And even more kindly, she had a room prepared just for me. I'm also very unsure as to why she held my room to walk about 2 meters, despite the fact that I traversed most of the ruins on my own, but I'm not gonna question it. After 20 minutes of solving puzzles, the first thing I did was eat my pillow. Upon waking up, I looked around the room a little bit before taking the slice of pie and shoving it into my pockets. What? I never knew you could turn on the lamp. I was just trying what? I then went into Toriel's room, read her diary, and decided to check out what's in the basement.
This is too early. Yep, it's too early.
Remember how she said there's no way out of the underground? There at least is a way out of the ruins, and Toriel doesn't want me near it. In order to actually get my chance to go to the exit, I had to repeatedly ask her how I can leave. Eventually, she gets up and decides that the only way to stop me is to take matters into her own hands. After following her down into the basement, she admits that beyond the hallway is the exit of the ruins. So you'd think that she's gonna board it up or chain it up or put fire around it. Nope, she's gonna destroy the exit. Considering the fact that the exit is a door, wouldn't destroying it just save me the trouble of turning the door handle? Not that I'm complaining, I just want to get out of here. This is where the demo's about to end. After following her, she gets a bit more serious. She tells me the fate of every child who has taken this same route. And considering I'm the only one who's fallen in a long time, she doesn't want to lose another child to Asgore. Having followed her to the door, there was no other option but to fight her, to prove myself as strong enough to survive in this world. This is Toriel, the first major boss of Undertale, the boss that proves whether or not I'm ready to leave the ruins. She has a few attacks, mostly using fireballs, which I suck at dodging. Now, whenever I played the demo, I often chose to kill Toriel in later playthroughs because that choice had no weight to it. But because this is the full game, killing her would be a decision with a permanent outcome, so I chose to spare her. Sparing her brings indifference and confusion as I do it more often. She taught me to spare but expects me to fight to prove myself. Maybe she didn't want a pacifist and she just wanted a child that she could keep safe for once. Eventually, once I spared her enough times, Toriel couldn't keep up the tough love act anymore, because in the end, killing her little one wouldn't prove that I wouldn't survive out there. I just kept sparing because she taught me first thing that everything deserves a chance to be spared. Thankfully she can't see my levels, so I can still use that as a talking point to convince her. So I spared her again and again. I didn't push through, I didn't retreat, I just stood there firmly in place. Okay, wait, let me eat a donut real quick. Soon she realized that the only way to make me happy, to truly save me, is to let me out of the ruins. She seemingly accepted that I've decided to leave, and she tells me to not come back when I do. Wow! She then walks away, taking one last look at me before going back up to her home. And I, without looking back, walked through the door. A familiar dark corridor was ahead of me, and as I walked through it, it became brighter, as if there was a light at the end of the tunnel. But once I reached the end, the light wasn't from the sky, but from the sun. Flower. Flowey appears, taunts me, and tries to instill his "it's kill or be killed" mentality into my mind. He then listed some enemies that I killed in the ruins, and called me selfish for sparing a life only when it was a major one. And now, the demo is over.
And the demo is over. I love you, man.
I walked the snowy path near a forest of closely huddled trees, so close that they could share the warmth between each other. Oh, excuse me. Walk faster!
Huh? How? What? No, how? Huh?
Here's our first instance of something I had never seen before. In fact, I'll put a counter up every time I encounter something that I haven't seen before playing this game. Okay, but I just realized the counter should probably have already appeared because the signs. At the bridge I stopped. A shadowy figure that definitely can't be recognized by its silhouette slowly approached me. And once it caught up, it asked me to shake his hand as a way to show that I'm accepting the fate that's coming up. Okay, I think I'm safe. This is Sans, the skeleton. He's a pretty comical guy who enjoys making bone puns, slacking off, and embodying judgment and karma as a whole. Who said that? Anyways, turns out that the entire reason why Toriel warned us about leaving the ruins was because some monsters in the underground are actively hunting for humans. This includes Sans, but he's kinda on a break right now. He guides me through this gate and tells me to hide behind this conveniently shaped lamp. I trusted him to make sure that Papyrus, his brother, doesn't know that there's a human around. Why is he snitching? This is Papyrus, Sans' brother. He's the aforementioned human hunting fanatic who I'm hiding from. He seems to be obsessed with puzzles and lacking a bit of a funny bone. Did I really just say that? You're probably wondering why he's so obsessed with capturing a human. It's because of the 3 R's. Respect, recognition, and Royal Guard entry. So, capturing a human would basically give him a leg to stand on in pursuit of his goals. Hold on, what does that word mean? A piece of work that... Never mind, it's a noun! After driving his brother away with his puns, Sans tells me that the coast is clear. Before I left, he asked me for a favor. He asked me to let Papyrus see me, since I would be the first human he's ever seen. On one hand, that's a horrible idea because I'm being hunted by him. But on the other hand, he's kinda spineless, so I'd be okay. How do you say you'll be up ahead and then go in the completely opposite direction? But then again, he appeared behind me on a completely straight path, so I will not doubt his abilities. After feeling determined by the convenience of the lamp, the area's name was revealed. This is Snowdin. The first thing I saw was this box that I can keep items in or take items out of, that will magically be put in multiple places at once on some ender chest type shit. Inside the box there was a weapon, the tough glove. And I'm gonna add that to the things I've never seen before, because I didn't think you could get blunt weapons in this game. Yes, even the one that I'll see probably later on. Immediately I tried to test my boxing skills on a new enemy and folded under 0 pressure. After dodging everything rather easily, I started to learn and gave the Snowdrake a nice tap. Okay, it's a multi-hit attack. I'm just gonna start throwing haymakers repeatedly. I then took the upper path and found a fishing rod. I reeled it in to find a photo with a phone number on it. How did this not get torn off or worn down despite being in a flowing river? If it stayed on for this long, it'll definitely hold on for longer. Already? Hello? 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 Why are you straight up spinning now? All eyes on me now? Apparently not. I'm right here, guys. What are you looking at? Do you not see me? I do not know if I like the sound of being sent to the capital. I'd either get knighted or executed. Toriel? Why are the options read out in Sans'? Fuck it. Yes. Turns out that the sign was correct. Somewhat. Because when I tried passing this stand, a blind dog sensed my presence and initiated a fight. Turns out that this entire encounter is to show me a new type of attack. Blue attacks. Blue attacks only hurt you when you move. Keep in mind that this isn't based off of your inputs on your keyboard. This is based off of whether or not your soul is moving. Now you might be wondering how my soul can move without me pressing down a key. You'll see later. Anyways, since I found out that this guy is literally a tutorial fight, I decided to spare him. After trying to do that like 5 different times, I got tired of trying and straight up killed him.
I probably should have acted before killing him.
Ya think? He was gonna die anyways. The guy was smoking dog treats. I am not helping my case right. In the next room I found Sans, who comically appears just to tell me that I shouldn't move if an attack is blue. I then discovered that frozen floors have to be slid across completely, and I used that knowledge to look at a sign that showed me 3 places where there's probably ice, as well as a special place called Snowdin Town. On the northern path, I expected ice, but instead saw a snowman. I'm not kidding, his name is a snowman. A snowman wants to see the world, even though he can't move. So he asked me to take a piece of him to the farthest regions of the underworld. I agreed to do this favor for him, just so he can follow his dream. On the eastern path from the sign, I walked in on Papyrus yelling at Sans. This is the first of Papyrus's puzzles. The invisible electricity maze. If I touch the walls of the maze, the orb that Papyrus is holding will have electricity flow through it, delivering a shock. So I walked up to the maze and... I think he forgot about the orb. Okay, I can't possibly fuck this up. I have the path laid out! I wonder why I solved it easily. Papyrus says that the next puzzle was designed by Sans. I'm expecting absolute peak right now. Wait, did he just slide off screen? After hearing the backstory behind Papyrus's outfit, I bought a nice scream for 15 gold. This must be Sans's puzzle. Oh, he's right there anyways. Okay, he's here to sell fried snow. And he's multiplying the price by 10 each time that I accept his offer. $50,000 final offer. Sold. Okay, maybe I'm glad that he doesn't have any because he'll either give me a ball of fried snow or a ball of yellow snow. And I am not eating the latter. I looked at the screen to the right and found two stands that I presumed are owned by a couple. I then cleared the course, after a bit. Okay, this isn't his puzzle. Oh my days. A word search? Oh no. Okay, give me a bit. Okay, I got it. I tried solving it faster than Zen in the recording, but I'm fully convinced that he either didn't look for the words or I just suck at word searches. Anyways, the two ended up having an argument about what kind of word-related puzzle is the most difficult, and I chose crossword because I suck at those. Papyrus didn't seem too fond of my answer, and I guess that now he has a bone to pick with me. Please help me. In the next room I found a handful of things. A plate of spaghetti, a note saying that the spaghetti is a trap since it's meant to stop me from progressing, and the mouse hole. Since I love spaghetti, I fell for the trap. What the fuck? This shit is frozen solid! It feels like one of SpongeBob's milkshakes, damn! After leaving the mouse to starve, again, I got into a fight with an armored dog. I couldn't get myself to kill this little big guy, so I decided to spare him. Okay, that didn't work, so bye bye. When am I gonna discover the purpose of the act button? I then cleared out some of the snow and took about a minute to realize that the X under the snow is the location of a lever under another patch of snow. Actually, I don't know. Either I was clearing out the snow here for the shits and giggles, or I thought I had to clear up the path for something. I really can't tell what my thought process was here, or lack thereof. Eventually, my session of playing in the snow was interrupted by, oh my days, they're jumping me. As soon as this encounter started, I knew I had to get rid of the one enemy whose name stood out in multiple ways. Wait, did I just use the act button? Apparently I knew the significance of the button, but I just wanted to kill some enemies. I guess since my level went up, I probably thought I was doing it too much. After making the Childrake sparable, I need to find a different terminology to use, Jerry caught up with us. After a bit of not realizing I can spare the Childrake, I decided to check Jerry, since he seemed useless. He is not in fact useless. I finally made my greatest discovery of all time, and then decided to ignore the ice cap's amazing, what hat? Hello Jerry, it seems like it's just you and me. Leave. Leave. Leave! Fine, I'm leaving. Motherfucker had me in one of those hang up, no you hang up situations. Are we damn serious? As I continued past the fallen spikes, I felt my hair stand on its ends. Fur. I meant fur. This is Dogamy and Doggeressa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Their entire thing is that they're attacking me, not because I look human, but because I smell like one. I didn't realize this until I let them sniff me mid-battle, as my first instinct was to try and pet them. and I was then hit by the top of an axe. After rolling around in the dirt and snow, I managed to make my scent a bit more like that of a dog. After a re-sniff, they were fully convinced that I was one, even though they kept attacking me. I then pet one of them, which opened his eyes to some new knowledge about puppies, and then the other one, and then I spared them. Boom! Pacifisto! Afterwards, I found a new type of puzzle where I had to change each symbol from X's to O's and then press a button. On the other side was Papyrus, who himself seems to have been caught by his own trap. I told him that I left the spaghetti on the table, since it was harder than stone, and now he's damn infatuated with me. Listen, Papyrus, you seem cool, but I don't really feel like getting boned today. How did we go from trying to capture me to wanting to cook for me? Papyrus, are you good? Okay, so now Papyrus is just helping me through the next few puzzles and seems to have completely forgotten his past objective. He was taking witness to my amazing puzzle solving skill. Shit. On the next screen was another major puzzle, a color maze. After an explanation as to what each color does, which I did write down, he flipped the switch and I had to wait for a completely random assortment of colors. Please someone calculate the probability of this actually happening. He's spinning. He's spinning off screen. I then found a dog in the middle of trusting the process and felt determined by it, knowing that at some point it'll make art. He's just like me for real. After completing another one of these puzzles, I gazed at statues made by the Skeleton Brothers and proceeded past some trees. I then passed by Sans twice and helped out a... Oh my god. On the edge of this path I spotted a cave entrance. The entrance of the cave... What? The inside of this cave was sparkly, full of tiny stars. A locked... Wow, I couldn't tell. And some squeaky mushrooms. I spent about 3 minutes trying different combinations with the mushrooms thinking they were a part of some sort of puzzle, and in an act of inventory curiosity, I accidentally committed an immoral act.
I didn't need to do that. No, oh my goodness.
And being completely clueless as to what this was, I looked it up and found out that I will never get this door open. Later on I was observing snowpuffs until I eventually found one with a tail, and a head, and a whole ass suit of armor. Meet Greater Dog, the greatest example of size doesn't matter, because despite being this big dog in a suit of armor, he's still a dog. The main way to pacify... Perfect word, holy shit. The main way to pacify this dog is to treat it like a normal dog. Play with it, and eventually give it some TLC when it's tired. I have no idea what TLC is, so it took me a couple of tries to realize that it meant I was supposed to pet it. With the dog now satisfied, it jumped out of its armor, licked my face, and left. Turns out that the kennel in the center belongs to him. I wonder where he puts his armor when he's in there. Or maybe he just takes it inside because of the remark that the character makes. Halfway through crossing this bridge, I was encountered yet again by Papyrus, who I guess decided that capturing me would be boring and straight up killing me will definitely get him into the Royal Guard. Nope, he's hesitating. He won't do it. He's spineless. Okay, so he built this contraption and a dog just to not use it because of his standards. I respect it and I'm very glad, but damn, you'd think he'd realize that sooner. Across the bridge was a new part of Snowdin. Snowdin Town. The first thing I did was go into the shop, and I want you to notice one thing here. This game has a recurring thing of giving you the option to sell stuff and then having the shopkeeper get pissed when you try to sell things. Like, why is it an option? I guess it's kind of a way to show the freedom of your character, since naturally a child who gets a lot of money just buy... What? What did I write? I guess it's kind of a way to show the freedom of your character, since naturally a child who gets a lot of money just by encountering things would definitely try every possible way to make money. I guess it could also be more of a way to mock games that let you endlessly sell things to people that you're meant to buy from. I have no examples of such games. I spent some time conversating. The spell check isn't flagging either of them. Upon further research, the more informal way of saying it is conversating, so let's just stick with that. Yes, I kept the confusion in the script. I do that pretty often. After that, I took about 10 minutes talking to all of the inhabitants of Snowdin town and just taking in the sights. Eventually, I decided to go further, past the town. A blinding haze filled my eyes as I walked between the trees. It got thicker and thicker as I walked the path, only trusting that there was no edge in sight. Well, or out of sight, I guess. One foot in front of the other so that I don't bump into a tree or fall into the river. I stopped at the end of the road, hearing the wind echo and flow through each orifice as the air curved past the hollow bones that it grazed. No lungs to breathe, but the wind let out sighs for him. Sighs of realization. For what he has to do goes against what his eyes have led him to believe. Okay, never mind, he ruined it. Papyrus is still entirely confused that I'm obsessed with him, and before accepting a proposal that isn't happening, he stopped. He realized that accepting me as his friend would jeopardize his goals. But he feels as though having someone whose attention and adoration doesn't have to be fought for, doesn't have to be earned through the sacrifice of another, and doesn't have to be strictly because of status, is much more worth it than whatever Undyne or the Royal Guard could offer him. But his goals took over his mind yet again. After all, he's shown in every way that he's willing to achieve them at any cost. Every way except by fighting for it. Papyrus blocks the way, and right off the bat, I don't think he's taking this fight seriously. Like, when he said blue attack, I was expecting something more than this. Like, what's this meant to do? Oh shit, gravity! I checked the act menu to see what options there are to pacify him. Despite getting some yin and yang ass options, I chose one and was affirmed that he is in fact holding back. This fight introduced me to the mechanic of soul colors. From the past up until now, the only one has been red, which allows you to freely move, and now there's blue where gravity is present. I like to interpret the blue soul in one of two ways. Either it flips from a horizontal or top view when red to a vertical one when blue, or both of them are in top view and your soul is just constantly attracted to the wall behind you. It took some time to get used to actually falling, and before I got the hang of it, he started to throw this. He also started mentioning a special attack, which I was a bit worried about considering what I was getting hit by. Eventually he charges up his special attack and I try to get his attention, but unfortunately he's dead set on using this attack. Thank everything. Okay, so now he's gonna use a really cool regular attack, which hopefully isn't bad. Hey, why is the special attack here? No. You're just gonna move in the opposite direction like Mach 5 once I jump over you. Please don't. Oh my days, thank you. After all of that, Papyrus, out of the goodness of his heart, spares me. He laments the fact that he won't get into the Royal Guard, and I decide I'm gonna be friends with this guy. And then he starts literally defying gravity. Oh nice, a new area. And sands. Welcome to Waterfall, where the sound of rushing water fills you with determination. However, before I went to gaze upon nature's showers, I decided to go have lunch with Sans. After taking a shortcut, are we not just going into Waterfall? Huh? Anyways, Sans is pretty well known here, even by Grillby himself. Also, I just realized that I fought 4 of the monsters in this place. Considering they're friends with the literal reality warper, I'm glad I didn't kill them. Like I said before, Sans is a pretty comical guy, and because of that, I felt like a third wheel when everyone laughed at his joke and I stood there poker-faced. We ordered burgers and chatted a bit while we waited for our orders. After spilling an entire bottle of ketchup on one of the burgers, everything got a bit tense. Yeah, the Echo Flower. I heard one of them speaking on the way here. After Grillby put the bill on Sans' tab, I started making my way to Waterfall. And as I was walking, I saw Papyrus outside of his house seemingly waiting for someone. I started talking to him and it turns out that I was making my way to him. Wait, what? No! So Papyrus and I walked to a place that's very special to him, where he spends a lot of time. Damn, bruh. At least buy me dinner first. I went in regardless, and the first thing that caught my eye was the fact that someone's room is on fire. Apparently I was wrong. The first thing that caught my eye was this rock. I started exploring the house and saw a huge ass sink where Papyrus keeps a bunch of bones. Where Papyrus kept a bunch of bones. I then wanted to see Papyrus's room and he allowed it. Oh my days, why the hell did he put parentheses around hangout? Papyrus, bruh, no. After hesitating for quite a bit, I went into the room. Damn, okay, this is actually really cool. His bed is a race car. He's got a bunch of action figures and he's 12 followers away from a double digit. Wait, how the fuck? After checking out the house, I had no idea what I was meant to do, so I headed back to Waterfall and took the shortcut to Grillby since I need to wash my hands. Never mind, I guess, but to be fair, there's a waterfall right here. After being pushed down the bridge and finding an echo flower, which I completely ignored the word of, I started walking down the path partially covered with faint light, and I went into the weeds and looked up. Above me, I saw an armored knight. Papyrus? That's Undyne. Don't move a muscle. Please, Zen. Zen! Oh my days, thank goodness she didn't come down here herself or I would have been screwed. Oh, hello. It seems Undyne has a fan. Monster Kid is a clumsy little guy who has a lot of admiration towards Undyne. On the next screen I encountered bridge seeds. If you align 4 of them, they form a bridge. You just pick one up, push it along the water. Although I'm very surprised that they're going straight considering this is a waterfall, but I can't complain since this is my only way across. After crossing, I encountered my first waterfall enemy, Aaron. Surprisingly, I found out how to pacify Aaron very quickly. I just had a flex off with him, and eventually I guess his muscles got so inflated that he floated off the arena. Nice. This bridge was a bit confusing to construct because it's where I had to realize that it's imperative that 4 bridge seeds are aligned. Thankfully, there was a bell blossom to reset everything though. Eventually, I figured it out, and after crossing the bridge, I got a call from Papyrus. How did he get my number? Oh, okay, but how does he know it's me if my character doesn't speak? Whoa, 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 what the hell? Oh, it's probably Undyne. A cross bandage. Honestly, I don't know, but for the sake of not giving details about myself away, I'll say no. I then found a few more echo flowers, and the first one seemed to be repeating the words of a tour guide or a child's guardian. I really hope the stars heard their wishes and not just the eavesdropping blue flower. I then encountered Washua, and due to how much I suck at Pong, I experienced my first death of the game.
Damn.
This is the game over screen, where words of encouragement are spoken by someone who seemingly wants me to continue further. I doubt this is an internal voice of reason because they're addressing me by name. I came back for a rematch and found out how to pacify him, and then continued to do the actions even though his name is already yellow. After losing most of my health, I spared him and moved on. I looked through a telescope with a hidden message and opened up a hidden passageway in the wall above me. I then found some ancient texts, diving into the absurdity of the war's occurrence and also a bit about the human soul. You see, a human soul can persist outside of the body even after death. I've no clue what monster souls do after death since I've only killed fodder ones. However, if a monster gets a hold of a human soul, it becomes a very powerful creature. But this is interesting. Does it maybe mean that my soul isn't very strong since it falls apart after death? I don't know. Maybe. After crossing a raft, the music faded out and ambient sounds began to fill the room, moving across the pillars and jumping out of the water into my ears. Something big is about to happen. Okay, I gotta start stepping. Undertale was the last game I was expecting to have chase sequences, but here we are. Since Undyne can't jump across to where I am, she's instead throwing spears at me. Dodging was pretty simple until the path started winding. I gotta make sure that doesn't happen again. Okay, this time I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. Man, I wish there was a conveniently shaped lamp I could hide behind. Why are we stopping?
Yes, he found it. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Monster Kid. I'm very glad your eye is still in its socket. On the next screen I saw crystallized cheese and another mouse hole. I was determined, knowing that the mouse will someday break the cheese out of his prison. I then met up with Sans again. Despite having 2 jobs, he wants to get into the telescope business. I guess he realized that his jobs pay him by work hours. A 50,000 service for free. Why would I oh. Sans, I think the cap is still on. Well, at least I didn't lose any money. Wait, what's on my eye? I went into the screen above and found an ice cream guy who now uses punch cards as a way to bring in customers. Have you maybe tried relocating to a place with people? Or monsters, I guess? I swear the first time I saw you, your shop was much closer to the ruins exit than the actual town. Anyways, I for some reason bought 3 ice creams, took 1 punch card, and then just bought a 4th one. After talking to the Socrates of the underground, I started walking down a room with glowing water, yet with dark grounds, and I got a call from Papyrus and started to panic a bit. Because...
Oh, goodness, I would have gotten that kid killed.
Yeah, I really can't tell why I said this. Also, turns out that Papyrus is the goat and I might have screwed myself over entirely. Since I told Papyrus I don't have a bandage on, he told the opposite to Undyne. Which means I might be more cooked than I thought I was. Because if I actually have one on and she saw such a small thing from her high ground, she could definitely see me from halfway across the area. Oh. Boss battle. Never mind, this is Onion-san, whose name just puts a smile on my face. She's very talkative and seems to dislike her current situation, but with the help of Undyne, she'll get to live in the ocean one day. I feel like a lot of monsters have faith in Undyne. I then found a piano.
Yay.
And a few more ancient texts. The first tablet answered my previous question, since it says that a monster's soul disappears once it dies. Except one case. Boss monster souls are able to persist after death just like human souls. But what could this entail though? That's a cool statue. It started to rain and I picked up an umbrella from this trash can. While I was walking, I ran into Monster Kid who was sheltering in this small cave hole, so he tagged along with me. As we walked, no enemies were in sight and it honestly kinda seemed like he didn't need an umbrella, since he would suddenly pause at times to talk about Undyne, and also wouldn't stay under the umbrella at all. I'm happy to hear all about my hunter, little guy. Just stay under the umbrella so you don't get sick. After a bit of walking, we crossed a small piece of land with a nice view of a large castle illuminated by stars above it. The view was pretty short-lived though. I returned the umbrella even though I was still in the rain, and I went forward with the help of Monster Kid. I then felt determined by the muffled sound of rain and continued onto a large bridge where I was confronted again. The idea of spawning 11 spears from below and not hitting me with a single one is crazy. Oh shit, I thought that was the reflection of this bridge! Undyne's back and she's stabbing spears from below me. The bridge that I was on started to branch off into narrow paths, which would have been horrible if game logic didn't stop 2 linear stabs from tearing this thing down. But for some reason, it soon became a literal maze that I got lost in, which led to me getting hit. Okay, so now I know that I need to follow this bridge that Undyne is on. But first I need to get out of this corner. Now she's going too fast. Are you trying to capture me or straight up impale me? She eventually slowed down, likely because she was running low on energy. Never mind, I'm screwed. Okay, no. Maybe I lost her, because to be fair, her bridge got cut off too. And I was above her, so... What? What happened to capturing me? Oh, I swear on everything, if I survive this, I will kick you. I guess falling down brought back some nostalgia because why am I hearing a xylophone? Okay, I'm waking up before the name drop. Yeah, this is definitely nostalgic. Flowers again? Wait, but that doesn't make sense. That didn't sound like Toriel. In fact, there was no one that I met immediately upon landing into the underground. Are there cycles in this game? Is this some sort of second life? Undertale save and reset significance bullshit question mark? Did I get my name from a carving in the side of the wall? I really don't know, but I just gotta keep going. I walked through the cavern and saw a familiar looking dummy. Since Toriel isn't here, I punched it lightly. As I went by afterwards, I realized that was a mistake. So apparently every dummy I've encountered so far had a ghost inside of it. And also apparently when I met the first one, I started hurling slurs at it or something. Which I can easily deny since Toriel was there, but I think I can tell who this dummy believes. From what I see, there's no way to pacify the mad dummy, so I had to fight it after this attack. Or at least I thought I had to until this happened. I tried talking to the dummy once more for good measure, but now I realized that I just need his minions to kill him for me, which wouldn't count as murder. I decided to lightly jab it one more time just to show it that it was a joke, and instead it showed me that he's invulnerable to my attacks. Soon he started moving around so that his minions would hit him less frequently, but that didn't help as much as he hoped. Soon enough he got fed up and fired everyone. After that he replaced them all with automated machines that shoot out homing missiles instead of flint. Despite the fact that I could barely dodge them, they actually made a much easier way to hit the guy. Eventually, he realized that automation wasn't the best idea, so he decided to do it himself. He then used the strongest attack that any monster could use, Stalemate. His plan was for both of us to just sit here for all eternity until time does away with me. Actually, he's already a ghost! I lost! Rain. Acid rain? From where? Oh my goodness, it's the goat himself. This is the part where Nap's avoidant nature really shows itself. Because what do you mean so I don't accidentally follow you home? I'm getting mixed signals here. Now that I'm in this quiet area, I checked what was on the left side. There I found a bird who offered to carry me across this gap. Hell yeah! Okay, let me check what's on this side. You know, you can only say you're good at something if you can do it twice. I went up to a snail farm where I once again found Napstablook. Turns out that this farm is his family's business, but it has been slow recently. I then spent like 10 gold to play Thunder Snail, where I have to encourage this yellow snail to go faster in hopes that it wins. Let's do this! Woo, 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 woo! Did I forget to mention that if the snail gets overwhelmed, it'll stop completely? I think I forgot to mention that. I then went to Nap's house, which is pretty minimal to say the least. He's got the essentials, TV, fridge, computer, all his 3 mixtapes. Speaking of those mixtapes, the first 2 are absolute heat, but this last one... low-key might be the best thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, this is perfect for lying on the floor. Low-key, I'm taking this mixtape with me. I'll bring it back soon though. Oh shit, I thought this was a quiet area.
I thought my game was bugged.
Never mind, the Bluetooth disconnected. I visited a shop that was run by an old turtle guy, and I once again tried selling stuff to no avail. But he did mention that there's a village nearby where I can sell stuff, the Temi village. And he does not know where it is. Lovely. Once I left, I read a few more lore tablets and discovered that there's a barrier preventing anything with a weak soul from exiting the underground. In order to destroy it, a being requires power, equivalent to 7 human souls. This is not good. The monsters thought that there were no entrances nor exits to the underground, and all hope was lost. I guess all hope was lost until I discovered Mount Ebit. So it's clear now that the Royal Guard needs my soul to free the monsters from here. There's many reasons as to why all of them want to be free. Some vengeful, some passive. The main question is, where are they gonna get the other souls? I'm the only human that's fallen down in a while. Unless those before me are the ones that Toriel hopes I don't share a fate with. In the next screen I found a maze of sorts where the path had to be lit up by these mushrooms upon interacting with them. You'll see why I called it a maze in a sec. As I walked, I encountered a special enemy, Temi. Despite being on a sugar rush during the fight, Temi is a very interesting enemy, because one of the actions involves an item that I've never seen in this game before. And she can hit you with literal unavoidable bullshit. I didn't. I did end up pacifying her, either by feeding her the stuff I didn't have, or by greeting her. I really don't know when her name turned yellow. Now this is why I called it a maze, because I got confused and there was backtracking. Never mind, this is a maze. What the hell am I looking at? When I first stepped onto this maze, I thought it was just gonna be something chill, and then the lights went out and I knew this was gonna take me minutes. And it in fact did! 3.5 to be exact. At the end, the lights came back and then faded again. After crossing the shallow waters, my path was blocked by solid leaves, and at a wall I found another echo flower. Okay, she had to have set this shit up, there's no fucking way. So here Asgore's mentioned again, this time with his motives. Considering the fact that Undyne says this is my last chance of redemption, I have a feeling that I am the 7th soul. I am the last one that they need. Okay, I thought this was a choice. Why are you approaching me with a spear, woman? So Monster Kid pops out of the bushes just in time to save me, or I guess he's joining Undyne's side to fight the bad guy. But he doesn't realize that in this case, I'm the bad— oh, okay, cool. I then proceeded to a path full of— and I walked onto a bridge where I was confronted by Monster Kid. I revealed to him that I'm a human, and as a monster he tries to channel his inherited hatred for mankind. But I refuse to feed into it, prompting him to call me racial, as in the two races, humans and monsters, slurs. Monster Kid trips as he walks away and ends up dangling on the edge of the bridge. Undyne arrives and— did she just emote? Despite my hunter being across the bridge, I decided to save the kid because even though he called me things that I don't think he should have in his vocabulary, he's still just a kid trying to fit in. And I wouldn't want to be the cause of someone's death right in front of the armored knight person. Thankfully, because I saved him, he realized the humans aren't actually that bad and defended me from Undyne. If he had any arms, I would give him a high five. Not right now though, since he'd probably fall off the bridge, but you get what I mean. Once Undyne leaves, Monster Kid decides that it's time to head home, and for the first time ever, he walks off screen. Never mind. At the end of Waterfall, I found a massive cave entrance, likely leading to something important since the camera panned to "you've gotta be kidding me." Ignoring the obvious question of how in the 7 human fucks did she get up there, she once again reminded me that they need 7 human souls. She then began to tell me a story of the monsters, since it's the tradition for those who get this far. But I'd assume, unlike most visitors, I probably won't get a tour after this. Never mind, I don't even get the story! Undyne removes her helmet, revealing that she's a fish woman. And she also tries to guilt trip me by saying that Alphys' books showed her that humans are compassionate, but now she thinks the opposite. First of all, who the hell is Alphys? Second of all, you're trying to rip my soul from my body, denying you that pleasure isn't selfish nor remorseless. She then reminded me that word spreads like wildfire in the underground, and of course the one dog that I killed was the one that always made her laugh. Ain't I the luckiest killer alive? After giving a speech that could be summed up as "I'm gonna put a hole through your torso," I felt determined to win this, so I stepped up and got impaled on the spot. Hey yo, wait! Oh, okay. This can't be that bad. This is Undyne, the third major boss in Undertale, and there's a few things to take note here. Number 1, the grid is moving. Number 2, the song I was expecting isn't playing. And number 3, my soul is green. The latter is probably the most important. Having a green soul locks me in one position and grants me a shield. With this shield I can block incoming spears. At first, it genuinely felt like she was holding back. The spears were incredibly easy to block. I then decided to check her actions and pleaded for my life. My cries unfortunately fell on deaf gills though, so I decided to challenge her on my next turn, which caused the bullets to get faster. Wait, bullets? A few more challenges later and I'm actually taking mad damage now. Once she mentioned the absurdity of me sparing her, I decided to try that again and saw a new option which I took in a heartbeat. Okay, now I can just sneak away. Nope, we're running. How the hell is she this fast in a full suit of— Okay. So I just gotta do that a few more times and eventually I might tire her out. I'll try running in circles next time. Now that I know what to do, I am much more focused and just waiting for the option of running to present itself. I kept challenging her until eventually the bullets started going at the speed of sound and my brain genuinely could not process this. After dealing with one turn of a literal mag dump, I ran for my life. And the running in circles plan didn't happen because I got tripped up by the turn in the next room. Eventually, Undyne pulls out a new type of bullet that I thought was just gonna pole smack me the first time, but it actually does a fake out and moves to the opposite side. After challenging her a few times, I nearly died because look at this. But once I finally saw the chance to escape, I decided to do one last dash for the light at the end of the— Are you motherfucking kidding me? Yeah, good luck planning a hangout when I've been added to the damn soul kebab that Asgore's gonna have served to him on a silver platter. Oh my days, I should have murdered that bonehead. Welcome to the Hotlands, where I can't tell if I'm burning up due to the temperature or the fact that I've been evading a ruthless knight for about 5 minutes. I was ready to stop to ask Sans for help, but I thankfully came back to my senses. Apparently Undyne didn't though. Eventually the heat caught up to her and she collapsed. So I did the most reasonable thing to do to a person who just tried to kill you. Gave her something to cool off. I'm not gonna question why there's a water cooler in the Hotlands, but I am gonna question why there's a hot water knob on the water cooler. Now I just gotta bathe myself in this cool water before I pass out too. Oh damn, never mind, I guess not. I was faced with a crossroad. On my left, there were 2 armored soldiers who I am not gonna deal with. On my right, there was a river with someone who offered to take me back to Waterfall. It's cool to be on a boat with someone, and also to be around water. And straight ahead was a laboratory. The doors opened automatically almost as if I was expected. A light shone on me while the rest of the room was still dim and I was closely monitored by a set of cameras. After staring at this conveyor for a solid 2 minutes, I continued and the stalker herself was revealed. Okay, I reloaded my save because I wanted to take a quick break. Before going into the lab, I talked to these guys with very wobbly sprite animations. They must be drunk. They told me that Undyne said that they should keep me away from what's beyond the path that they're guarding, which is interesting because it shows that Undyne wasn't all too confident that she'd be the one to take my soul. Anyways, the doors automatically opened, almost as if I was expected. I really hope you noticed that I'm repeating myself. And the stalker revealed themselves to be an absolute nerd. This is Alphys. Pardon my French. Upon looking at me, she realizes how much preparing she hadn't done. Almost as if I'm supposed to take her on a date or something. Anyways, Alphys is Asgore's royal scientist. Yeah, I don't know what that entails to be honest. Oh, that means she can just watch me and blush while admitting it, all in the name of science. Yippee. Thankfully, she started rooting for me once she saw how chaotic neutral I was as a character, and wanted to lead me directly to the castle, housing the guy that wants to kill me to become a god. What a great idea! Despite that idea, there's one issue. She created a robot called Meraton, who was initially an entertainment robot but was eventually given some adjustments, such as anti-human combat features. Why the fuck would you do that? You had a robot TV star, now you want a serial killer? Oh, never mind, she realized she has to remove them. Wait, what if that was one of the things she hadn't done yet before I arrived, and that was why she was so shocked? Never mind, she's just terrible at programming. My life is gonna be taken by a machine. Yeah, hopefully we won't run into him. Okay, to be fair, I don't really blame you, Alphys, because you didn't say anything about him running into a wall several times to get to us. Please don't make me sing. This is Metaton, who doesn't know how to aim spotlights and either wants my death to be entertaining to whoever's beyond the fourth wall, or he doesn't realize that I'm a human. Confetti! Yippee! This is a game show where they ask a bunch of questions, and if I get one wrong, then the turn goes to Alfie. Never mind. Oh. Once I got into this encounter, the first thing I did was cry. The first question took me a bit to pick between B and D. The second question was very easy, and now I have to answer questions about him. I literally just met you. The next question... As of the time that I'm writing this script, I have a test soon on this anyways, so... Okay, I got it. Oh shit, I think I took too long. Editor Zen here. First of all, now, one thing I noticed only because I tried searching for the solution to this question after failing to solve it for about 5 minutes, is that Alphys signs out which answer it is to every single question. I got the question wrong regardless, which didn't kill me but took half of my HP, which means I think Metaton has the most high damaging attack in the game, which is very scary. One thing I'm wondering currently is to why I haven't tried killing this thing yet. Oh yeah, I'm punching a box made out of metal. What did I think was gonna happen? The next few questions were interesting. Okay, the timer's frozen for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. After answering that question, Metaton had exhausted all of them. So after taking a second to process what just happened, she stopped me to give me her phone number and actually upgraded my phone so that I can use social media. Why are you giving unrestricted media access to a child? What kind of phone did I have that didn't have texting? How is there Wi-Fi in the Oh yeah, she signed me up to the Underground's main social media, which we will see very shortly was a mistake. Oh my days! Hotlands is an interesting place. There's already lava everywhere and they decided to have exhaust pipes spewing out copper flames. Oh, I thought that was a phone notification. I was gonna go back and break Alphys' glasses. After hugging a walking volcano, I continued up into... Surely she won't be able to type if she can't see anything, right? I hope this them that she wants to call isn't me, otherwise I'm genuinely going to lose it. And if it is me, does she not know that I can see her posts? Editor Zen here with some very, very unfortunate news. This recording, which was about an hour long, was actually corrupted. So, I don't know what happened, but, okay, it was mostly just walking around, but eventually I did have to do like a cooking show type thing with Metaton. So let's just skip a little bit further. I saved at another mouse hole. I'm wondering why there's a microwave in the Hotlands. Probably because you can't just toast something over the lava, but still. Okay, now let's start at the fight with the knights. I knew from my first attempt that the first thing I had to do was clean the cooling dirt from the armor of one of the royal guards, which makes him start to get hotter. This probably means that Undyne's armor was squeaky f***ing clean. Also, I didn't realize that the armor shape in the grid was an interactive way to clean it. I thought it was for healing, but that's mostly because I got through it hitless. Once the second guard's armor got too hot to bear, he took it off. This caused the other one to start sweating, but I didn't clean his armor, so this is a different kind of... I'm not gonna make that pun actually. I whispered to the guy who was sweating, and after losing points in accuracy, he decided that he can't take this anymore and did the unthinkable. He confessed his feelings, how he wants things to stay the way they are, how he wishes they could spend more time together, and after a brief silence and attempting to backpedal and lie that it was a joke, The second guy accepts, and they stare into each other's... I just imagine them staring at each other through their helmets. That must be the goofiest ever, oh my days. Regardless, I'm glad they got to spend their final moments together. Yeah, I'm kidding. I continued down the path, swarmed by more notifications than I actually get in real life, and eventually I reached a dark room where Metaton was giving the daily news report. I got to decide what the report was on, and I decided on this dog. And now I guess we're doing the weather, and it's looking partly eviscerated from the face of the Hotlands because that dog is a bomb. And so is everything in this area. And to top it all off, there's a big bomb above me that'll blow up in just 2 minutes. Thankfully my phone has the ability to defuse bombs. It took me a little bit of time to learn the defusal mechanic, because I knew I was supposed to do something when the bomb enters the green box, but I didn't know what to do exactly. After defusing the dog, a basketball, a handheld gaming console, a present, a glass of fucking water, and oh sh*, I have 9 seconds left. Thankfully Alphys let me know that the last bomb was in the bottom right corner. So I channeled my inner rhythm gamer and defused the final bomb with just 5 seconds left to spare. However, Metaton cut the cameras a while ago, so the big bomb is actually gonna detonate in a few seconds. Now that I think about it, I'm probably floating since the conveyor is moving while I'm still on it. That's a horrible way to phrase my plan, but I suggest jumping onto Metaton. Thankfully, while Metaton was monologuing, Alphys deactivated the bomb, but the robot seems to be speaking like this is a stage play and Alphys didn't get the script. I'm a bit suspicious, but I'll count it as dumb luck. Deactivating a bomb as dumb luck. F it. At least she's getting more confident in guiding me. Hopefully that confidence continues to grow. A lot of monsters keep pushing the narrative that Asgore is a nice guy and would just let me through. But I've already lost trust in that. He needs one more soul to become God, and he's not gonna let it go just because I made it that far. Because to him, what's another child if it's the last one that has to die?
Wait, isn't that where I am right now, I think?
I then proceeded into the left second floor elevator, which was much more futuristic, to say the least. I walked down the path and found a spider lady selling baked goods at a stall. I then talked to this guy who gave into the web bunny mind control. Please pretend I did not say that. I then saw similar cobwebs to the ones that I bought from in the ruins. The difference here is that I guess some spiders are the embodiment of greed, because why am I meant to pay this much for a f***ing donut? I don't know why they didn't just make it 10,000. I'm not gonna waltz in here and say shit, I'm 1 gold coin short. Can you guys make an exception this one time? I'm not doing that shit. I don't think even Asgore would have this much. Anyways, f*** these spiders. Ahead of me was another room that branched into 2 puzzle rooms. But before I set off to solve them, Alphys told me to add her on Undernet, and then realized that 1, we're already friends, and 2, I've been reading her posts the entire time. So I guess now that she knows that, she'll probably stop posting about me on an app where I have her added. After a bit of trying not to punch my screen while rewatching this recording, I solved it. Outside I met 2 of Metaton's 8 viewers who both had a favorite moment they wanted to share. Why does Metaton do advertisements if he was built to entertain Alphys? Anyways, I went to the southern path, face tanked everything because I couldn't figure out why it was triggering when I wasn't moving, got asked to hang out with Alphys, and solved the southern puzzle, which was much quicker than the northern one. I then went back and realized how I was supposed to get past the blue lasers because of a cactus. Back to the talk with Alphys though, I'm getting a strong feeling that she doesn't want me to leave the underground. Because at some point she said I could turn, presumably around and go back, and she's making plans for after I get out of this, knowing damn well that when I get out of this I'll be back in the overworld. But that'll likely be brought up later, and if she tries to stop me I can just kill her anyway, so... After getting past the crossroad, I felt determined by the smell of cobwebs in the air, and considering the floor is just dark now, I'm cooked! I walked into the hall, with cobwebs stretching from ceiling to floor almost as if they're holding the building together. Bigger webs lined the path, they slowed me down, and I refused to cut them down since that's the home of an innocent spider. I would have cut it if it was the home of one of the greedy ones though. In the distance I heard a voice, spewing out lies and false stories about me, told to them by an unknown figure. Nearing the end of the darkened path, a carpet of cobwebs caught my feet and began to spin around my body, putting me in a tight hold of spider silk. Now that the fly has been caught, it's time to reap the rewards of their trap. Lady, the pastries were nearly 10,000 each. I am a child. Where am I gonna get that money from? This is Muffet, the owner of all of the branches of spider bake sales in the underground. She firstly noticed how outraged I was, mostly towards the spiders who didn't spread the word that I actually bought something of theirs, and decided to give me a sip of her tea. That is way more than a sip. Before I talk about the new soul color, I'm very thankful to this spider for showing me which attack is next, but I don't know what this symbol means. Regardless, having a purple soul locks you into 3 different lines. You can technically move in all directions, but your vertical movement is more like switching lanes in Subway Surfers than something you can actually control freely. In all honesty, in my mind, all I wanted to do was kill Muffet, mostly because I'm outraged, but also because I'm slightly afraid of spiders. And after a few turns, she decided to introduce me to her pet. After dodging a very clear pattern of spiders, I was introduced to her... Ma'am, you mispronounced science experiment, because what the hell am I looking at?
Don't worry, dearie, Cupcake doesn't bite.
Yeah, he f***ing eats! Why is it getting faster? Oh my days, I can bribe her. This would probably be the perfect time to have 10,000 gold. Oh cool, I did it hitless. That was a nice waste of money. Wait, I didn't read the price. Did it say f***ing 40? Wait, that's probably why the little spider is there, is so that I can decide if it's worth paying to more likely survive the next attack. Oh! I'm gonna be in debt by the end of this fight. Eventually, after climbing for my life to escape Cupcake, I ended up dying. On my second attempt, I think I was locked in, because I survived the first and second attacks, and Cupcake hitless. I mean, look at this movement! The bad news is that I paid for the first 2 attacks to be less deadly. You know what would have made this fight a lot easier? Having an inventory with food in it. But unfortunately, the only food around here is being sold for probably as much as my soul is. As the fight went on, Muffet started telling me many things. Specifically, what she'd gained from killing me, how the spiders felt in the ruins, and how much they'd benefit from the reward for my soul. I wish I could have listened to the entire story, but unfortunately... After another death, I decided to go back and try to gather supplies, and for some reason, I saw the pastry stand unattended and did not just try to steal something. Speaking of stealing, I went back to Alfie's lab and stole a packet of noodles from her fridge. I then deviated a bit from the way forward and found a frying pan. For some reason, I felt this was enough scavenging and went back into the fray. Thankfully, and also unfortunately, the frying pan does more damage than the tough glove. Thankfully, because I can kill her faster, and unfortunately, because now I probably won't stop attempting this boss fight until she's dead. Eventually I got really low and decided to eat the... Okay, fair enough, to take it from the packaging. Am I actually straight up cooking it? What heat is it on? Okay, I guess Muffet's just casually watching me use her stove or something. All that for 8 HP is insane! I then had to face Cupcake again, and damn, I was getting closer and closer to death every second. But right before I accepted the fact that I can choose what I die to, I broke out of the webs. Muffet still had some anger she wanted to let out though, so she was getting ready to spin another arena for me. Oh look, he's holding a telegram. From the spiders in the ruins, finally! Okay, so this technically means that the fight ended in a stalemate because we're both basically one hit away from death. She offered free pastries, and she's actually pretty chill now, so I'll spare her. That was by far the stupidest victory ever. Crazy how neither of us died even though both of us could've. I found that very funny. But I guess at the time I found it incredibly relieving instead.
1 HP.
Outside of the arena, I saw a poster for a performance by Metaton. I really hope I missed it, because I wouldn't want the one trying to kill me to see me in the audience. Why is he here? No fucking way I showed up just in time. Nah, I ain't doing this. Oh my days. I'm trying to run away from you. So let me leave before he gets mad. I hate this so much. Oh, I thought the Monster King was gonna lock me in a dungeon. Okay, let's see what bullshit he has in store for me. I forgot where I wrote this stuff down. Okay, wait, I got this. Never mind, I do not got this. 30 seconds. Okay, let's map out a path. Okay, I already f***ed up. Good. Well, okay, I'm cooked. Literally. If you're not gonna burn me, can we at least not act like I'm in an oven right now? You're f***ing rotisserie chickening me right now, dude. Please stop. What, do you like your human medium rare or— oh, this is Alfie's doing. Alright. Unfortunately though, this isn't just a case where he lets me go because Alfie saved me. This time, I actually get to fight him. Oh my great days, I'm so done with this bucket of— maybe let me try out this yellow button. Am I just gonna end up upside down or is it just my soul? I'm yellow. I'm shooting him. Is this damaging him at least? Hey, why is he still talking? I still got some in the tank. Get back here! Oh, okay, he's gone. Before I left the dungeon, Alphys opened up to me. Turns out she has a little bit of deep-rooted self-hatred, which has been slowly dying down or getting opposed by her success in guiding me. She's honestly not a screw-up considering the fact that I've gotten this far thanks to her. Next stop though, the core. Upon leaving the dungeon, I noticed that the guards were gone, and I also saw the Nice Cream guy and realized that I did not take all of my punch cards with me. But thankfully, he's going out of business. So all of the Nice Creams are 52% off compared to the price in Waterfall. Woo! Sorry to hear about your situation, man. I proceeded up the stairs and found Sans, who I guess was on his 40th break within the past 2 hours. He offered to grab some food with me, but I declined since I'm dead set on getting to the core. I then saw a note telling me to go to the alley on the right for some great deals, which sounds like a great idea. Oh, hello. Despite the note saying great deals, all I found in the shop was a whole lot of down payments. I left empty-handed and went into a bright building. The building turned out to be a hotel with a broken fountain. That same hotel prides itself on a great stay, and conveniently, also prides itself on being passed through, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'll give it 5 stars. Would walk through it again, and will. I went to the left path and found a more mature Snowdrake who was looking to patch things up with his son. Oh my days, that Snowdrake had a father. I guess this hotel also prides itself on robbing its guests because why would someone pay 120 gold for a burger? I don't care if the word glam means there's edible flavored glitter on the thing. We cannot be 500 gold for a steak! I bought the burger regardless since it heals for 27 HP. Watch me use it to heal 4 points of damage. I then exited the hotel and was presented with the sight of 2 shadowy figures blocking the light shining at me from the core's interior. Once they left, I entered cautiously. This is the core, which seems a lot like a high-tech lab. Thankfully, it was a straight shot into the elevator and up to wherever it's not working. Plan B was to head to the right and follow that path. The right ended up being a dead end though, as in I'd literally be dead if I walked to the end of this room. Plan C was to take the left path and get confronted by the 2 silhouettes from the entrance. Apparently I was seeing double and Alphys lost her glasses. After staring at this guy's orbs, Alfie starts to lose a bit of her confidence since there's a slight chance that she's never been here before. In the next room, I was basically warned of a colored laser quicktime event that I'd have to do once I flipped this switch. Alphys ended up giving me the wrong order, which is mostly okay since my reaction time was slow as fuck. And that's another hit to Alphys' confidence. At this point, she's completely run out of ideas, but is still trying to help. It's mostly like she's trying to rectify the past 2 errors, but in the process she may make new, more dangerous ones. This time, due to her uncertainty, I went with the first path she told me to take, which turned out to be the right way. Alphys ended up meddling again by trying to shut off the power for me to pass this pretty manageable laser section. Turns out it actually wasn't that manageable. After a short game of blue light no light, Alphys realizes that her map is a bit outdated and leaves. This means I'll have to get through this part of the core solo. Firstly, I solved one of those puzzles from the Hotlands, and then I encountered a monster that told him to pick on him, and since he's clearly a masochist, I proceeded to give him the highest possible degree of pain. I may have overdone it. Regardless, on the other side of the bridge was an elevator, a save point, and a door that apparently led to the elevator straight to the king's castle. I ended up trusting it since I doubt this place has the same architecture as the Hotlands, where elevators can go fucking horizontally. And I ended up in a room with Mettaton. At first my body was filled with joy, since this is probably the final confrontation I'd have with this thing. But soon it was filled with confusion. Turns out, Mettaton was never reprogrammed or malfunctioning. Mettaton was built this way so that Alphys could self-insert into her favorite current journey. My journey. All the puzzles, all the elevator faults, and all the encounters with Mettaton were staged, which explains why he always acted like a thwarted villain every time Alphys saved me instead of just picking me up and tossing me into the lava below. During this confrontation, Mettaton starts hating on Alphys. Sure, she's the reason I got repeatedly killed by a spider lady, but I feel like she doesn't deserve the hate she's getting. Especially when she already fights the same hatred from herself. I don't want her to fight 2 battles at once. And like Young Zen said,
how do I know that this isn't part of Alphys' thing?
Immediately though, an ulterior motive is presented. Alphys wants me to praise her so highly that I choose not to leave. She's acting like Toriel, except instead of wanting to protect me because I'm a child that shouldn't be added to Asgore's kill count, she instead wants me to be safe so I can keep fighting her hatred with her, so she can have someone to turn to for praise and validation. And I guess to have an extra person to give her a reason to keep going. As much as I wish for her to see herself not as a build-up of her mistakes, I'm not letting a person who lied to me keep me from passing that barrier. All I have to do now though is make sure that at least in my absence, she'll still have pieces to pick up of someone who's willing to stay with her through everything. Let's dance, Mettaton. I still can't hit him. How the hell am I gonna fight him? This is Mettaton, and I guess he's the most powerful character in Undertale because he somehow rearranged the core. Not the map of the core itself. Unlike our first encounter where we got the Yellow Soul variant, Mettaton just refuses to take the shots now. Speaking of which, that Yellow Soul allows you to shoot pellets that can destroy certain objects or activate certain obstacles. Unfortunately, my only option of action is... I'd assume that means burning or roasting Mettaton. This action does nothing, so I assume I just have to survive the fight until he stops monologuing. Right on cue. Turns out that Alphys put a switch on Mettaton's back that'll do... something. Definitely not power him off, because how would an off switch be a work in progress? After lying that there's a mirror behind him, I flip the switch on Mettaton's back, and this causes him to go haywire. Get it? Okay, I'll leave. And explode.
Oh, yes.
A couple of spotlights descend and light up the center of the stage. Smoke fills the air, but it quickly disperses, revealing the true form of Mettaton. This is Mettaton EX. I'm just gonna say X. A much more flexible, nimble, and humanoid form of Mettaton's body, but lacking the durability he originally had. This second phase of sorts introduces a new mechanic, ratings. You see, this is the season finale of Alfie's favorite show, starring everyone's favorite characters, and it's being broadcasted live. The ratings basically indicate my progression in this fight. Those ratings gotta be as high as possible because, as we all know, fame makes people make horrible decisions. Throughout the fight, Mettaton uses various different obstacles to prevent me from getting a clear shot of him. Those obstacles range from the stuff from earlier, all the way to a literal essay question. Oh, okay, that works, I guess. I decided to check out the actions and choose the option Heel Turn, which increases the rating gain when I get hit, which is probably the worst way to build up ratings if you're not me! During the turn where I chose to boast, Mettaton revealed his heart, which is the main part that my pellets can harm. After a lot of shots fired at both of us, something inside Mettaton breaks, and the attacks from here start to get a bit more complex. Especially this one. This singular attack is in the top 3 things I was excited to write about in this script, and that's simply because I am an absolute stone and a half. The way this attack works is that the disco ball spins and shines light on you. The lights can be either solid or blue. Now I always thought that this attack was entirely luck based. This was until I saw a YouTube short last year that showed what you're actually meant to do. If you shoot the disco ball, you can change the lights from white to blue and vice versa. I never knew this and always just cowered in the corner hoping that the turn would end before I die. Anyways, back to the fight. After a bit of Bomberman, Mettaton revealed his heart again, and after taking some well-aimed shots, his arms broke off from his body. I feel like my disbelief that Alphys lied overpowered my judgment, because for some reason I feel like I was completely dead set on killing Mettaton. After losing his arms, Mettaton starts to get a bit crazy with his attacks. I then danced with death for a second. I knew that Glamburger would come in handy at some point. And that boost in ratings was enough for Mettaton to open up to me again. And after shooting at his heart and using my amazing dodging skills for a bit, he was left without a leg to stand on. And I was still attacking him. Zen, you're making me want to change the rest of the script. Even without any limbs, Mettaton still wouldn't give up. And he used all that he had left, his love for his adoring fans. Unfortunately, he wears his heart too loosely on his... Oh yeah, he has no arms. So I need to break it once and for all. He then cranked up the intensity to 11, and I could barely keep up with his attacks. And for some reason I was really dead set on killing him still. However, he managed to steal my plan and the only heart left broken was mine. Okay, wait. Let's look at this line really quickly. I haven't died in a while, so I just want to analyze this as we're getting closer to the end of the game. The only creatures whose fates I decide are those of the monsters I fight, which means that this voice is that of someone I haven't met yet, obviously. There aren't many monsters that I'd know I haven't seen, but there is one that's been mentioned so often. Yet the question is, how are they talking to me? If it isn't who I think it is, then this encouragement wouldn't make sense. My death wouldn't change the fate of the monsters unless it was in the presence of someone who knew how to keep my soul intact after death. But there's only one way to prove my assumption, and the first step to that is beyond this damn machine. Thankfully, I could already tell Mettaton to turn around because in this game, respawning is canon. Undertale save and reset significance bullshit. Alright, take 2. Why am I still attacking him? I got to the final stage of the fight and I had Mettaton on his last legs. All I had hoped for was that he'd surrender and let there be pieces to put back together. All I hoped is that I broke enough to leave him immobile, but left enough so that she could put him back together. Wait, she? Wait, Zen! No! No, 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 no way, no way I did that. Remorseless I was in the present. I had faith that since he was a machine, he wouldn't fade into dust. Alphys can pick up the pieces. Alphys can put him back together. All he needs is a heart replacement and he's good to... I need to go. That smile is fake. She's putting on a performance, acting in front of the human just like her darling creation did for her. The darling creation that I just destroyed. I'm unsure as to why she's still following me. There may not be blood on my hands, but my pen is dented from bashing your favorite star. Leave this murderer alone. I just wish my weapon had broken so that at least we'd be somewhat even in what we lost. Not even in value, but in quantity, because I'll never make up for what I've taken away from her. Why is she still following me? I wish most of all that she didn't feel the need to say goodbye. It may have been fun to be a part of her favorite story, but she lost her self-insert in the end. And she lost her creation. Listen, I know you lied about... Oh. I can't even be mad at her for hiding this. With what you've seen me do, I'm surprised you didn't say this from an intercom in the safety of your lab. I may have found you annoying at certain points in time, but I guess that part of me decided to take it out the only way I knew could hurt you. It really wasn't my intention. It's a shame really that I have to kill Asgore. I would have loved to take Metaton's soul with, so that at least he could see the humans that he wished to save. But alas, he's a machine. One last ascent. One last monster to encounter. I left the elevator into a hallway with grey, dull walls, reminiscent of the ruins but devoid of life and color. I gazed beyond the walls I walked across, trying to identify which of the buildings would become my tomb. Before I unpause this clip, I just want to show one really big thing, honestly. It might surprise you considering I've claimed to have seen most of the game, but... yeah. When approaching death, a common thing that's said to happen is the remembrance of one's cherished memories. I first thought that walking back into the house I said I'd never return to was a way to face that memory again. But instead, I tried retracing my steps, but the path was blocked. Thankfully, this seemed more like an extra step rather than some cautionary measure. Despite the safety and emptiness of this place, there were still monsters here. Though not to hurt me, and not to be hurt, but to tell a story. Long ago, a human child just like me fell into the ruins. But they didn't quite get up unscathed. I went into the kitchen and grabbed the key. Whoever designed this place was either toying with me, or they also wished to remember a distant memory of this house. The story continues. The child's cry for help was heard by one, Azrael, the son of the Monster King, and the child was then brought to the castle. Back to reality. There's 2 padlocks and the other key must be on the other side. Now back to the story. Over time, it seemed like the royal family had adopted the human child as their own, for no one dared to reach down into the underground to save them. The underground was full of hope. I grabbed the second key and left, for I felt the room I passed wasn't the one I'd known, so I moved on. I unlocked the chain and proceeded into the basement. After a while, the child became sick, whether due to oxygen deprivation from being underground, or something else. Needless to say, the monsters didn't have the means to properly cure or take care of the child. The human child, firmly grasping at their family so that they could make one wish before their soul was swept away by the wind, said that they wanted to see the flowers of their village one last time. Unfortunately, they couldn't hold their eyes open for long enough, and their soul let go on the next day. But Azrael didn't. He held the soul tightly and absorbed it into himself, turning him into a god. But he didn't take this anger out on anybody or anything, because it wasn't the humans that took away his sibling, nor was it the monsters. It was nature. He fought his grief, for all he wanted to do was to return the child to their village, and the merging of their souls was the only way to pass through the barrier. He carried the child and laid them onto a bed of flowers. Although they'd never see the flowers, at least the wish was somewhat fulfilled. Suddenly, Azrael was spotted and deemed a murderous monster by the villagers who saw him. They thought he was the reason for the child's death. They then swarmed him, attacked with all their might and rage. Though many may not have known the child, the village still cared that they lost one of theirs, so they relentlessly struck Azrael, again and again and again, and although he had the power to even kill all of them, he refused to fight back. He held his sibling, smiled, and walked back through the barrier. He then stumbled home, wounded, and collapsed at the castle, fading into dust, at least knowing that he was in the safety of his own home, knowing that no one around him would desecrate the ashes of his body, and no one here would rejoice at his death and call him a monster in 2 ways. The humans had once again taken away everything from the monsters. The human child was taken by sickness, and the monster child was taken by humans. The king and queen had lost 2 children in one night. This led to a new order. All humans who fall into the underground must be sentenced to death. The monsters used to care, welcome, and cherish all of their uninvited guests. But now they would treat them with the same scrutiny they had always been given. First the fallen, then them all. The plan was to destroy the barrier and let monsters roam around to do as they please. This story's progress has been quick, so quick that it's now caught up to me. The last soul that they need to be free is my own, and the monsters seem to think that I should be happy to liberate them at the cost of my own life. I wish to be free from the underground, not from my body. Now that the story's being told in my view, it's time to face something that decides my next fight. I walked through the hallway, gazing out of windows, just waiting for the game to force me to stop in my tracks. And soon I was met with a familiar face, but in an unfamiliar situation.
No.
Despite how goofy he is at first glance, this is Sans, the judge of the underground. He's omnipresent, and he knows that once I get to Asgore, everyone's fate will be decided by both of us. Well, at least everyone else's fate. Turns out that I've been keeping count of all of my killings. Not in terms of number, but in terms of impact. You see, EXP doesn't stand for experience. It stands for execution points. A way of quantifying the pain that I've inflicted onto others. LV2. It doesn't stand for level, and it doesn't stand for love. It stands for level of violence, measuring my capacity to hurt. By taking the life of another, monster or not, you lose a bit of your humanity. So it's a measure of how much I've distanced myself from mine. Now, here's the problem. I don't know how much XP I have, but my level of violence is at 7. Actually, the fact that I don't know how much EXP I have is probably bad. But I have to come to terms with the truth. I've killed many. Just to not face the effort of pacifying them. I killed a father's son. I killed someone who couldn't see it coming. I killed a machine to hurt the one who built it. And I've killed many in between that I'd count as fodder. I understand that makes me a monster. Not one of the kind that I've met here, but one of the kind that the inhabitants here would never want to see. But I'd rather be honest with myself and say it. Whether this be the roadblock before Asgore, or just a simple analysis of my character, I face that judgment knowing what I've done. Oh, I guess I'm good? I guess I'm in the middle. I'm not too malicious and I'm not too kind. I guess what decides is this next encounter. Or maybe he's correct and it truly doesn't matter what I decide to do. I walked into the next room, which was a hallway leading to the throne room. But before going there, I checked what was on the other side. I walked down the staircase into a room filled with coffins. And the one closest to the entrance has my name engraved onto it. Let's just add 1 to the counter, because what the actual This is like pre-firing a GG. But it does kinda show that whatever Asgore is, he's not a big fuzzy pushover. But then again, he was fighting children. This is it. Beyond the grass, deep in the center of that floral circle in the room, is the monster who I've been a target to for my entire journey. After a while of deciding the fates of other monsters, it's time for another monster to decide mine. Oh, he's watering the flowers. You know, he can't be that bad, because, to be fair, since when has a king had an open door policy? Upon gazing at me, he immediately realizes who I am, and more importantly, what I am. Just like me, he doesn't know whether to feel scared or calm. He's labeled a coffin with my name, but he also backed up, and he wishes he could offer me tea. Maybe he doesn't want to do this, and to be honest, neither do I. He gazes into the light from outside. For some reason, I always thought he was looking beyond the barrier, and he was looking into the overworld, longing. This was when I remembered, I can't just waltz out of here. As much as I wish I could, one of us has to die so that the other one can leave. I'm ready to face him, or maybe we can leave together. I don't know. I continued into the next room and he noticed how tense I was, and tried to ease a bit of that stress. Here it is, the barrier. Asgore showed me that he was willing to wait for me to do anything I had left behind or put aside. A patient man he is, but neither of us want to wait for what's inevitable. 7 jars arise from the ground beneath, 6 with different colored souls, and 1 waiting to be claimed. Huh. It really is kill or be killed, isn't it?
Oh no.
Asgore stands before me, with the shiny white glow of the barrier refracted by his crimson trident. His attacks share similarities with Toriel, except the difference is that he isn't as merciful. Or maybe he is actually. If he knew he could kill me instantly, and he didn't possibly want me to fight back, he would have destroyed the fight button. What if he destroyed the option that would be used the easiest? After all, he once took in a human child and cared for them as his own. Anyways, he bathes the arena in fire, swings his trident, and I'm basically a rotisserie child with the way this fire is toasting me from all directions. Like I'm getting put at 1 HP every 2 turns. This is not okay. And eventually, I decided to prioritize damage over health, which works in any game except for turn-based RPGs. This led to my death, and a confirmation that Asgore may not be the voice in the death screen, because at this point, he wouldn't be encouraging me. Asgore introduces a new type of attack, orange attacks. As opposed to blue attacks where you have to stand still when they overlap with you, orange attacks require you to be moving when they overlap with you to avoid damage. Time to dethrone this big guy. Soon enough, he'd been beaten enough that his armor now caves into his chest. As he suffocates, he gets on one knee. I don't know why though. Asgore, you will not be cut down. You've brought hope to your people, even if it meant causing destruction to my kind. So while you're already on one knee, I dub thee a merciful king. And because of that mercy, you will also be spared. Wait, shit, I forgot I need his soul. Aw, man. It's okay. You know what? I don't even remember what the outside world looks like. I sound like a fucking bitch, bro. You know what? I don't even remember what the outside world looks like. And at least I have papyrus, I guess. So maybe living down here won't be that bad. And also being taken care of by the king definitely has some benefits. Oh. I never knew that a flower could be so much like a vulture. Wait, I just noticed there's one petal left behind. Don't you fucking dare! I will water you with your own blood. First you strip me of a livelihood, then you strip me of my exit! He has the souls. Why is his face completely distorting? What is he doing? Why did my game just crash? Something's different. Well, no shit, but like, this is not how the story goes. My save file. Actually, this isn't even my save file anymore. Also, damn, Flowey has been here for an eternity. I feel like resetting his save would probably save us all, but knowing him, he's probably got this entire world in a chokehold. And probably also knowing him, he'd just swap his save file for mine if I hit reset anyways, so... Okay, I'm in the void. Oh, here's my save. This is the first time I've been face to face with the save menu. Oh shit!
Final boss, I guess?
gonna kill me?
I've watched Merc beat this hitless. I know exactly what to do. I do not in fact know what to do. This is a Mega Flowey, an abomination with a genocidal outlook, fueled by 6 human souls and an ideology that I've disproved time and time again. It's got a bunch of attacks that really test my experience in bullet hells. Oh wait, this game is all of my experience in bullet hells. Despite the fact that Flowey's basically using all of the souls as fuel, turns out they're not very fond of his ideas. Excuse me, pardon me, is that the act button? Please let me through? Now what? Oh nice, I get all my health back. Now he's definitely a bit weaker. I don't think he's a bit weaker. This fight is almost like a mimicry of actual things. It's as if now Flowey is closer to me as a player than me as a character. Almost as if he's aware of me as well. And he wants me to understand the horror that this child must be facing, by presenting himself like an amalgamation of flora and nightmares. Yellow Soul next. The good thing is that as I lose more health, the amount of damage becomes lower, if that makes sense. This at least makes it feel less risky to just go straight for the act button, but also does make death a lot more uncertain. Unfortunately, the healing items were a lot more difficult to collect here, but that's okay. Did he just rewind time? What the actual hell is this mix-up tactic? Okay, this is getting confusing, and I can't tell if this exposes Flowey's desperation, annoyance, or sheer joy in literally f***ing with me right now. I'm feeling a bit claustrophobic here. I missed it! No! Oh. I'm starting to wonder what would happen if I actually did miss the act button now. Okay, I guess the same way that my damage decreases as more is taken, my healing decreases as more is healed. What the hell am I dealing with? I'm so damn confused. Why does his face look like that? I can attack him? I am so close to throwing in the towel. What, did he hear me? I guess that's a sign to hop off for the day. Actually, for the first time in this playthrough, what? Okay, I'm back, and after taunting me, Flowey was kind enough, I mean evil enough, to save his progress in dyeing me. Yeah, I fucked up. Wait, dyeing me red, yeah. Oh, I think there's something else we should pay attention to, Flowey. Okay, this one is actually really easy. I just want to see if I can do it hitless. I did! I'm getting an incredibly huge sense of deja vu right now. It seems like things are getting hotter in here. Also, I can't tell if this is oil, fire, or just straight up bullets. Oh hell yeah, I'm eating straight from the source. One more. I just need to call one more soul to help me, and Flowey will turn back into a harmless, tiny flower. I guess he's really confident in his methods to try to kill me, because he just refuses to shake things up a bit, even though he's on his last thread tying him to the souls. Speaking of which, it's almost game over, Flowey. Let's see what I'm facing now. Hey, remember earlier when I mentioned bullets? I swear on my life, if the act button just flies straight from the barrel and off screen, I'm gonna cry. Oh, okay, cool. Oh hell no, why is it missing now? And now, all of the souls of the kids who have fallen, now they're uniting one last time. Voluntarily. And god damn, the green soul's aim is dog shit. Jeez! And now the only god that'll exist is... Wait, where are y'all going? Wait, what? I still have to fight him? This is by far the most motivational and heart-dropping piece of text I've read in this entire game. After being bombarded with bullshit for a while, it's a relief to see his attacks slowed down and also his defense at a reasonable level now. Since the souls are free from his grasps now, all he has is this body, and whatever stored power he siphoned from the souls. All his plans of destroying this world are slowly being sapped from his roots. Now that his defense is non-existent, I can swing, slash, and stab his heart out. Do you remember that one time a while ago that I said prioritizing damage over survival doesn't work in turn-based RPGs? We're not taking turns here, are we? Now Flowey's just burning through energy in rapid bursts, attacking with the same intensity as firstly, a clear act of desperation. Call it transpiration with the way that his energy is fading from his leaves. Where are the leaves? Wait. There they are, there they are. The fight button is an ever-present option that he can't destroy, because one thing we have in common is our willingness to hurt, especially when it's something that should get back into the ground. Beings that achieve godhood never make smart decisions with their power, unless there's something to rival theirs. In Flowey's case, the thing rivaling his power is a child with a frying pan that's been straightened by so much repeated denting and deformation, to the point where it's become a sharp weapon. My soul was close to being his many times, mostly because I kept missing the healing items. But I stayed determined through it all. Despite how much adrenaline was flowing through my body during this fight, it felt as if I was forgetting something. Or more like Flowey was forgetting something. But before I could think of what it was, his health was critical. Finally! This monstrosity was slain. I fed into its ideology, so I hope it dies thinking it was right. And now that I've finally cut down this behemoth, with a smile on my face I say, Timber! What? He didn't save. He didn't save! Well, I feel deja vu again. After a long-ass monologue about being the god of this world, Flowey makes one fatal mistake. He allows me to call for help. This was a huge f*** up, Flowey, because you think no one's coming? We'll see about that. Oh, I thought that was a gap. You're confused? Look around you. Who do you think has been healing me during this fight? Open your 6 damn eyes and finally die. Oh. Oh, still alive. Oh. As much as I should, I think the greatest way I could hurt him right now would be to strike his ideology. You can't hurt anyone anymore, Flowey. The souls aren't your slaves. But beware. This isn't kindness. This isn't mercy. This is withholding you from the freedom that you've granted others. Yours is a death that would be much quicker than the ones you've caused. One slice and it would all be over. You don't deserve such a quick end. You deserve to see the error in the way you think. Now leave. How the f does a flower run? Wait, what? Oh. Where's the barrier? Regardless, I've paid my pardon, and maybe what I did could lead to a change in Flowey. I think it's time that I go home. Undertale is a game I've wanted to play since I was in 4th grade. It's a game that I thought I knew everything about, and even then, it still found its ways to surprise me. Playing this game was an experience I wish I went into blind, but the big reveals and the unexpected stuff really stood out, so I really regret nothing. Honestly, oh, a phone call, what? Okay, so when I left, the Queen returned and ended the rule of treating humans as enemies. However, because of my actions, that rule's abolishment wasn't kindly received by the people. This led to a revolution led by Undyne, where the Queen was overthrown. Undyne was mad about what happened to the king and... What? The Queen was overthrown, literally, and banished back into the ruins. This led me to believe that Toriel was the Queen. Now they're just talking about the present day, with Undyne as the Empress, who's very dedicated to the idea of destroying mankind. Slowly at least, since they can't destroy the barrier because of the souls having gone missing. That was an ending. Now back to the overall thoughts. Honestly, Flowey? I guess that's kinda a change of mind. I forgot what else I was gonna say. Okay, let me just think of something. Honestly, I never really saw myself as much of a turn-based game kinda guy, but this game was my first step towards seeing the fun in the genre. Undertale had a really nice world to go through, and it was really more of a test of my morality and integrity more than anything. I loved the freedom of choice that the game granted me at every step of the way, but doing evil things really felt horrible because of how the world and its characters were presented. I played as a human, something meant to be killed on sight. I should have killed everything. But with the way that the game began and led off on a note that I'm just a visitor, it felt much easier to stop myself from doing so. This game is amazing, and I'm really glad that I got to play it for myself. Thank you, Toby Fox, and thank you, Undertale. Undertale has a lot of amazing songs, but I'd assume you probably know how much I love the music since I've been using it in my videos I made even before I first played this game. Even though Undertale has music for basically every emotion, I still have one song that stands out to me the most, above all of them. Hey, Editor Zen here again. I had to once again change my favorite OST section, because I forgot to go through like my favorite song for each individual area, which I'm gonna do right now. My favorite song from the beginning, including the title screen and the encounter with Flowey, is Fallen Down. It's just iconic. There's no other way to describe it. And also the fact that it gets a reprise later in the game really helps the case as well. My favorite song from the ruins is Home. It's just very cozy, and it shows that Toriel's house is a completely safe space. My favorite song from Snowdin is Snowy. I just really love how chill it is, to be honest. I don't understand Toby Fox's approach of just pitching up or down every single song, or most songs in the OST when they're played in the game. I don't know if it's because of repetitiveness or something, but this song just doesn't get repetitive. It's just beautiful. My favorite song from Waterfall, this was actually really difficult to choose because initially I went for It's Raining Somewhere Else, and while I was editing I realized this song does not play in Waterfall nor in my playthrough. So I decided to go with Spear of Justice, which was my second pick. My favorite song from the Hotlands is Another Medium. I think no one is surprised by this, honestly. I don't think I even have to explain it. My favorite song from the core is Death by Glamour, mostly because Death by Glamour is just a more intense version of the song that's already playing in the background of the core, and yeah, I love intensity. My favorite song from Beyond the Core is Undertale. It's an amazing song, I cannot lie. I mostly just love the way it uses motifs from throughout the game. And my favorite song from the end, basically the Asgore fight up until the end of the game, is Finale. It took me about a few years, actually I only found this out a few months ago, but Finale is actually a breakcore song, and I really like breakcore. Of course, that's not the reason why it's my favorite from this area. It's been like that even before I played this game. In fact, it was my favorite OST in general before I played this game. Yeah, that kind of rules out a candidate, does it? Damn it. Anyways, out of all of these songs, I do still have a favorite amongst them. And that song is... Hearing this song was a genuine shock to me, as shown by the counter incrementing. It was the first time I heard this song and saw the part of the game where it played. It really felt like the best song for the moment where I was staring at familiar architecture, looking back at the world that I'd possibly leave behind after my next decision. This song had me in such a chokehold when I first heard it, to the point where I came up with my own lyrics for it, which obviously I'm not gonna sing or put on screen because, no. The song is really beautiful. It's so calming and it really fills the space that familiar colors would have. It's a perfect song for just filling the void in general. The fact that it uses the most memorable motifs of the game was a great way to remind me of where I started, and most importantly, where I am now. I'm unsure if you all know this, but one thing that really gets me hooked on a song is a shift in the key. And damn does this song do it in a way that makes it feel like it's resonating in my soul. I'm also pretty sure this is the longest song in the soundtrack, and I find it kinda sad that I can't hear it fully and in sync in game since my pace wouldn't allow it. But listening to it outside of the game really brings me back, not only to this very playthrough of the game, but even the time before I played it, where I was just spewing out facts and trivia about this game that I had learned through YouTube videos of other creators. This song is perfect, and I'm glad that it shares its title with the game, because to me, this song is the song that I think of when I think of Undertale.